So the day after Charlie Kirk died, I was in class. My teacher said, I'll give you 5 minutes for hot takes about Charlie Kirk. I was the only person who raised their hand. I said, I've been saying we need to bring back political assassinations. I don't feel bad, and I don't think that everyone deserves the right to free speech. I think some people should be afraid to express their opinion in public. So this class is literally about revolution in China. All of our readings for this month have been talking about how violent revolution liberated millions of people, it liberated women, and then our reading for that day was specifically about democratic dictatorship, where Mao writes about, yes, people deserve free speech, but there should not be free speech for reactionaries and imperialists and like capitalists and all these people who were enemies of the revolution, because that would reverse the progress that was made.
Hi everybody, my name is David Liu. Today we will be talking about this incident which went viral in the past couple of days. So this Chinese girl, Julia Xu, from Oberlin University in Ohio, made some comments about Charlie Kirk's death. She basically said that Charlie Kirk deserved to die. You know, her exact words were, "We should bring back political assassinations." Michael, do you know anything about that?
It just goes to show the complete rot and decay of our current culture and of our youth when it's not an unpopular sentiment for young students to be able to call for the assassination of political figures and see it as a moral good. It goes to show how education has rotted the minds of our youth when the young people of this country see it as a moral good to call for political assassinations for anyone that isn't far left. It's absolutely despicable.
See, the people like Julia, right, actually are the reason why Charlie Kirk died. Because the shooter who killed Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, was in pretty much the same situation as Julia, the Chinese girl, right? So, well, I mean, people are entitled to different ideas and opinions, but calling for political assassination, meaning that if you don't agree with me, disagree with me, I have the right to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost for them, for the leftists, for the far left, especially these young students. It's almost feels like it's their obligation to kill you because you are enemy, right? Because you are so bad, or because you are fascist. That's you know what they call you.
Absolutely. The modern far left is so deranged and so radical that whatever person does not fit in their ever-changing progressive ideology is instantly labeled as someone fascist, as someone far right, as someone racist, and is therefore able to be killed, morally justifiably killed by their own framework. That is why the student is calling for the return of political assassinations and saying that Charlie Kirk deserved to be killed, because in their moral framework, people like Charlie Kirk, normal, hard-working Americans that just want to start a family and live right, make their own way in the world, are instantly considered fascist. It's absolutely despicable, and the absolute scale of this problem is shown by the amount of students on TikTok that are posting the exact same comments as this woman. It goes to show the absolute indoctrination that modern campuses have brought to our youth, and this needs to be fought against.
Yes. So Julia went on to say, well, people have right to free speech, right?
Of course.
So, but she then said, well, but for reactionaries, imperialists, and capitalists, they should not be allowed to speak. They should be afraid of expressing their opinions. They should be shut up. So how to shut them up? So the implication, the message, was that we'll have to kill them, right? So that was a context of her making such comment. So this actually is very dangerous. So all those young students, the youth in America, so they have this sense of righteousness, right? So and to the point they think that killing Charlie Cook, killing people like Charlie Cook, not only is acceptable, it's almost encouraged. It's almost something that people would expect you to do, right? So, and actually I saw this video where after Charlie Cook was assassinated, so there was this one guy, he went to different school campuses asking students, how they felt about Charlie Cook being shot and killed. And a lot of them, actually, seems like at least half of them will say something along the lines of they were happy Charlie Cook was dead. This one girl even said something like somebody had to do it. And it was so shocking. So these our youth, that's how stupid, brainwashed, indoctrinated, senseless, idiotic they are. And this is the future of America. So on one hand, people like Julia, people like Tyler Robinson, they are the perpetrators. Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Cook. And seems like with Julia, if she was given a gun, and she would have done something like that as well, right? So on one hand, those people, they're perpetrators. But on the other hand, they are also the victims by this, left-wing ideology, right? So, and she said, imperialist capitalists, reactionaries. To be frank, I don't think Charlie Cook would fall on any of the three categories.
No.
Right? And she said something, these people, they should be, the message was like, these people should be killed because that's how they would have been shut up, right? So, but the very idea of free speech is to encourage exchange of ideas. So meaning that if we were going to censor or shut up certain opinions, or ideas, so there's no reason for freedom of speech. Right? The idea of having freedom of speech is that people can freely exchange their ideas. Right?
People can talk about and argue about different ideas, how we ought to conduct ourselves, how our government ought to conduct themselves. That's the whole beauty of free speech. It's the freedom to say and debate what you want without fear of being arrested by the government. It's the fear of being able to resolve your differences amicably through the word rather through a gun.
So basically, if freedom of speech is not for all, if freedom of speech is only for certain kind of people, or is only allowed for certain kind of opinions or ideas, actually there's no freedom of speech. That term alone is misleading. So the very foundation for freedom of speech is to encourage all sorts of ideas, their thoughts, opinions, positions, they can talk about it, as you were saying, they can talk about them, they can argue over them, so long as they don't kill each other, right? If it gets to a point, because I disagree with you so much, I hate you so much, I'm going to kill you. It's not freedom of speech.
No, and
right?
Many people like this student, as well as Robinson, will blatantly tell you that they do not believe in freedom of speech because they believe in censoring their quote-unquote opposition in pursuit of their own goals, in pursuit of whatever seeming communist utopia that they all seem to believe in.
Yes.
That is their justification for the end of freedom of speech. However, any rational, normal person in the US is going to tell you that I don't believe in some communist utopia. I believe in the democratic, capitalistic principles upon which this country was founded and the country that I benefit from and contribute to every day. That is what I believe in, and that is what I want to contribute toward once again and again every day. And that is why the average person supports freedom of speech and why these students do not support freedom of speech. These people have been so far removed from the Constitution, the foundations of our government, and any understanding as to why we do things the way that we do them, that they are now attempting to say, just out in the open, blatantly, we don't like the First Amendment, and we think that we would be better off without the First Amendment.
Precisely, precisely. So that's why it's very dangerous, especially, if you were as a student in college. I mean, you're of that age group, or you have a child, who is in that age group. So it's very important, for you to watch out. Do not get misled, by those radical ideas, and do not do anything stupid, illegal, such as, committing a murder on someone or spreading hate, like Julia did. Not only spreading hate, she was also spreading violence. She was trying to incite a revolution of some sort. She said something like, if the reactionaries, the imperialist capitalists, should not be allowed to speak because they will reverse the revolution, right? So what revolution are we talking about? We're in America. What's she talking about? Is she high? Like, I'm serious. Like, did she take too much weed?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Right? So
She's
what I'm saying. Yeah.
University student.
Yeah. She probably smoked too much weed. I'm not joking.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, and she then quickly apologized. To be frank with you, I did not see an apology letter. I do not think her apology was sincere. Oh. I think she was just being a coward.
She's not sorry about the things she said. She's sorry she got caught.
Correct.
And that's
precisely.
It.
So, and if I don't know if Julia is a U.S. citizen, if she's not, and to be frank, she will do harm, and she at least is a potential harm, to the safety of America and also to the safety of Americans.
Undoubtedly so.
Yeah. Okay. So great talking to you all, and me and Michael will keep you updated as to what happens with this whole Charlie Kirk situation. Thank you.
Thank you.